Good Saturday evening, YouTube. This is Ty, your Metalhead Weatherman. Hope you guys are having a good start to your weekend. Got a lot to talk about in this video. As promised, I'm gonna go into detail about this tropical buzz that we've been having going on. Finally got a good look at it from one of the models myself. We'll get a little bit more in depth in that in a moment. Do have some more severe weather to talk about too. Also, before I get into the video, I've been noticing the increase in viewership. I greatly appreciate that. Obviously, we want more, so continue to spread the word about the channel. Continue watching, like, comment, share, whole nine. But without further ado, let's get into it. Of course, we always take a look at the Storm Prediction Center first. We now have a slight risk for tonight, and we do have some ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings as well, particularly around Kansas and Nebraska. We do have some isolated pulsing severe storms around Indiana and going into Ohio. And I think I saw a couple more around the Missouri area. Yep, I did. And just recently there was a severe thunderstorm watch that was just issued for south central Kansas and northern Oklahoma. So you guys be aware for any incoming severe weather. That's not quite the main thing that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about tomorrow's threat because we have gone up to an enhanced risk now. Our enhanced risk is mainly located around eastern Oklahoma, southern and maybe south central Missouri. Then we have the southeastern corner of Kansas, and then parts of northwestern Arkansas heading into north central Arkansas. Very big slight risk area as well, spanning from the Ohio Valley into the Ozarks and around eastern portions of the Central Plains. So we look at our threats here. Very big area for hail. No hatched risk, which is a good thing, but still 15% chance of hail, and we could get an isolated significant hail report. Wind threat is the main thing that we're most concerned about. We have a 30% right around that enhanced risk region. And then there is a 2% tornado threat. Not robust, but it's not zero, so definitely be on the lookout for that. And then on day 3, we of course have our severe weather threat Monday, and we now have idea of where it is. It's pretty much stretching from, well, we have a marginal risk that stretches to wow, I cannot speak right now. We have a marginal risk that stretches all the way from Dothan, Alabama, as far north as Maine, Portland, Maine, even. You guys are in line for have a potential for severe weather, and then our slight risk. We have pretty much the entire New England area under it, pretty much the entire northeastern coast, really. And then it stretches all the way as far south as Raleigh and areas just north of Charlotte. Anywhere in between these areas, you have either a marginal or a slight risk for severe weather. This includes areas like Atlanta, Charlotte, Columbia, Charleston, South Carolina, I should say, because there's also Charleston, West Virginia, and you guys are ironically in play for this as well. You have Pittsburgh, Philly, you're in play. You're in the slight risk, actually. Buffalo as well, New York City, you're in the slight risk. From the looks of it, the main threat's going to be damaging straight line winds and probably some hail. Wouldn't rule out a tornado, but I think that the tornado threat's going to be pretty low. We'll look at the parameters over the next couple of days. We'll mainly look at the low-level jet. We pretty much have been known for the last few weeks that the dew points aren't going any. The dew points are going to be high, and they're not going to be going anywhere soon. So, without further ado, let's get this into loop mode here. I don't know why it went back into single image. We'll go into loop mode here, and we will go to the reflectivity. Now keep in mind, this is what the radar could look like. It's not a shoe-in of what the radar will look like. So wait for this to load, and then we will get right into that. after we take a look at this, we'll take a look at this low-level jet. Oops. So now we've gone too far forward. Here we go. Scroll down here, make sure we get a good view of everything. So our severe weather is we're gonna avert our eyes to the central plains first for any sort of severe weather development. Not very much expected. I was honestly expecting a little bit more around this region anyway, but we do have the look of a few isolated storms in Kansas. Most of these will probably be hail producers. Small tornado threat might be there, but I'm not too sold on it, to be honest. That didn't even look like I clicked on a storm. If anything, at that point, by the overnight or late evening into the overnight, the storm threat should be dying down. Meanwhile, we have this little storm system here associated with what looks to be this high pressure. I've been seeing this look a lot lately. It's kind of crazy. It's on the lower end of a high pressure, on the high pressure spectrum, but I guess the millibars are low enough, or high enough to be high pressure, but it's low enough to where it could potentially support a few more storms. But move this forward, and on Sunday, this is our area of interest right here. This looks like a little line of storms here. It's an interesting look to these cells to the south. Temperatures are a little bit low, even a little bit low. It's the morning hours though, so as we move forward, this begins to get its act together. It takes a little bit more of a linear shape. There might be a few cells a little bit off to the south here that may have a brief chance of producing a tornado. From the looks of it, if I take a look at the low-level shear, it is impressive, but it looks like we don't have very high temperatures. The Cape isn't really impressive at all around this area, so a lot of uncertainty there. Do get some development around Texas going into Monday, then late into Monday, and then late Monday morning into the early afternoon. That's when that line of storms comes in associated with that low pressure. Then areas to the south have a chance of some isolated thunderstorms. Might have some little small boundary that pops up here and causes some storms to fire off into central Alabama and into Georgia. And right around that time is where our model run will end. So now we're going to take a look at the low-level jet. I'm not expecting some crazy wind shear. I'm not expecting a super pronounced low-level jet. It just doesn't really have that look like it screams tornado. It may scream damaging winds, but it's just not really a lot that I can go off of here that says, oh, there's going to be a tornado outbreak. I mean, you literally saw the Storm Prediction Center page. No one's really convinced of it. I'm honestly thinking this enhanced risk might even be a little bit bold right now. So we're going to take a look here. And into the afternoon hours, there really isn't a super strong low-level jet. We'll take a look at the mid-level. Maybe there's something else to be seen there. Even on Monday, there isn't a whole lot going on. Actually, Monday seems like a better threat than Sunday, according to the NAM here. We'll take a closer look at it tomorrow. Take a look at the mid-level jet real quick, just to make sure I'm not clicking on the wrong thing. Make sure that everything's loaded here. Mid-level jet looks a little bit more impressive. And this is also why we don't have a high tornado threat, because that low-level jet just isn't really pronounced. Mid-level jet's a little bit stronger, but it's going to also make this a little bit more questionable as to whether or not these winds will get down to the surface in these thunderstorms. You got to keep in mind, when we're talking mid-level jet, we're talking well over 10,000 feet, 15,000 feet plus. We aren't affected by those winds. We're affected by the ones that are on the ground. So we move So move this forward. I mean, the mid-level jet's still there, but it really seems to be more pronounced around the Northeast. I think the Northeast has a much greater chance of a damaging wind threat actually than the Central Plains and the Ozarks tomorrow. So that's gonna be something I'll have to watch real close. It's gonna be really interesting to see how that unfolds. But now, next thing. One thing that I've been seeing a lot of rumbling going on in the social media world is this tropical talk here. So apparently there's been word of a system popping up around the central Atlantic within the next 10 to 14 days. It's pretty far off, but it has a very ominous look to it. Now, one thing I'm going to say before I get into this here, take this with a grain of salt. I've seen more 10 to 14 day forecasts that I could count, where one day it'll show the freaking apocalypse and then next minute it'll be just gone like it never even happened, or gone like a fart in the wind, or whatever you want to call it. So move this forward. So before I move this forward, these little ISO bars here, when you see them spaced out like this, that tells you that there's a weak storm system. And also look for this little blue area right here. Whenever you see these little clear slots, that's usually an indication of disturbed weather when we're over land. When a storm system's rolling in, you'll see this little blue ball, almost like a bowling ball, and the tighter the lines are around it, the stronger it gets. We'll move this forward here. See little small areas try to develop. This is what's also causing a lot of scattered popcorn style thunderstorms around the southeast. This is kind of got that summertime look to it. Okay, so things calm down later into this week. Very quiet around here. But I want you to avert your attention off to the right, off to the south here, towards the Yucatan Peninsula, towards the Panama Canal and towards the Yucatan. Look at that right here. Look at that. So this is about 1 week from now. Apparently this storm system is supposed to pop up here and really get its act together. Really starts to strengthen. Look how tight those ISO bars are getting around it. Very intense area of low pressure. It's starting to take shape here according to the GFS. It's a very bold run though. I'm curious to see how long this will go on for, because this will be kind of unheard of for this time of year. There's also apparently a lot of wind shear off to the east. Maybe towards the Gulf there might be a little something to go with here, but I don't know. This also takes a very odd track. This comes from the south and then takes a very odd push to the east. If there's anyone right now that I'm not even sure whether to say Cuba should even be watching this, or Florida at all. Actually, yeah, I will say that. I'm not going to say panic and go to the store or anything like that at all, because this is, like I said, we're over a week out. This storm hasn't even formed yet. So I really don't have a lot to go off of here. Also, there's apparently a lot of wind shear over this area, and this thing doesn't show it, and this model doesn't really show this thing losing strength. So there's a lot of uncertainty with me and a lot of other people in the weather community as well. We get to about 294 hours out, and this looks like it's going through the Lesser Antilles at this point, and then it's going to be moving off to sea. We'll try and take a look at this after it's come out of the Caribbean. Take a look at the Southwest Atlantic real quick. So let's see if I wonder how long this video's gone. Not very long. I'm kind of proud of myself there. Give myself a little pat on the back. Trying to keep these videos below 20 minutes if at all possible, but I'm gonna try to give you all the information that I think you would need to know. So here's our storm system, 276 hours out, almost 300. It doesn't really have it losing strength. And over here, I know during this time of year, normally there's a lot of shear. So like I said, there's a lot of things that are a little bit fishy about this forecast model. Also, I'm not too sure I'm sold on it having it go all the way through southern Florida and Cuba and having it hang on to this kind of intensity. So there's a lot of interesting stuff to be watched over here on this. Of course, after the storm moves, ridge comes back into place. But yeah, I have a lot of questions here, to be honest with you. I'm not sold on this forecast just yet. And you shouldn't be either. But I'm not going to tell you not to watch this. Because of the fact that the GFS is showing this, we'll even go as far as taking a look at the euro just to make sure. Yeah, I'm even going to go as far as looking at the euro, just to ensure that I crossed all my T's and dotted all my I's. So if the euro's showing a similar look, then that's something really interesting. However, the euro only goes up to about 240 hours out. This is also an outdated run. So we'll go up to about 216 hours out. Dang it. Thing does not want to behave. Go towards the Caribbean again. Try to make this a little easier on myself. So we'll go up to about 192 hours out. So far, nothing. And then, towards the end of that I'm going to guess this is our storm here. Hard to say right now. But, like I said, I'm not sold on this forecast at all. You shouldn't be either, but because I'm seeing this and I'm seeing some potential of it on the euro as well, it doesn't necessarily mean that this chance is zero. There's a 0% chance of this happening. So, you're seeing this video, don't panic yet. I would really say don't panic at all, but keep an eye on it, because this could easily change. This could go either way at this point. I really think it'll trend downward, if anything, but just be prepared just in case. That's enough rambling from me, though. That's all I got for you guys tonight. Talk more about Monday and Tuesday's threat. I think I saw a day 4 threat. Pretty sure I did, actually. I'm going to take a quick look at that. Excuse me. Yeah, I did see a threat Tuesday. I was right. We'll take a quick look at Tuesday's threat in tomorrow's video. And I'll give you guys an update on the Tropics once again, because 24 hours will have passed. Brand new models will have come in. And maybe we'll start to get a little bit more clear of a picture. But until then, this has been Ty, Metalhead Weatherman. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Y'all have a good night.